Hi, my name is Galaxies, and we're back for another Helldivers 2 discussion video. Following the thread that I'm going to have up on the screen soon, we're going to talk about what players want to see more on the game's overall war progress, the limited availability in terms of what worlds we can play on right now, and the changes to the mob density and different difficulties and how that's affecting the state of play. Hi, Bunny. Well, this is just my mascot. I mean, I'd rather talk to you with this guy than you having to see my face. Trust me, you'd rather look at this guy than me. This just makes it easier for me to talk. Most of these comments are rants, but there is some truth to be found in their frustration, so we'll give it a closer look. The first concern brought up by the OP was that there were too many players on bug planets not contributing to either the defense of Azer Pass or the designated planets in this major order. I don't feel like player spread has really been an issue lately. There were huge numbers of players on these planets, and the closer that the timer got to running out, the number increased. We still completed the order, and we've been completing orders for a while now without fail. I think it's just a case of many people were waiting till the last hours to actually hop in and push that last stretch. But you also have to consider that we've had multiple major orders in a row that targeted automatons, and the most recent ones were practically the same worlds, so it's gotten tiring. I don't blame the bug divers for wanting to do something different. That's part of the struggle right now. The rate of completion is also more lenient now than it used to be, so we don't need the vast majority of players to finish objectives. The next comment I noticed was Burnout. We just spent the last week and a half on practically the same worlds and biomes. Ice planets, gas planets, rocky and deserts. Not a lot of variety going on. Probably another reason why so many people will switch to bug planets so they could see something different. Like, I took a visit to Akamar directly after the bod order was completed, and holy moly, what a treat. My eyes got to feast on real colors. Imagine being able to see a map that's not covered in snow or rock. Whew. There was another post that mentioned we still have all these other worlds that have gone unused, and it would be great if we could see them open up, kind of working sideways instead of going back and forth. My thought is that this is wasted space right now that could be put to use. What do you think? Should Arrowhead make more of these planets playable, or should they lay in wait for the inevitable new factions that we'll be fighting later? There's quite a few comments and posts that mentioned the medium difficulties were feeling way harder than higher levels right now, specifically 5 and 6. I've been playing on mostly 9 right now, and can attest that there's not nearly as many enemies spawning in as there were on lower levels. So there is some merit to these posts, and it's not just skill difference. There were huge amounts of enemies on some of the level 5 games that I played, and it felt like a death on these levels was penalized even more heavily than levels 7, 8, or 9. At the end of a regular mission, 30 minutes spent, I alone had more than 400 enemies killed, and the rest of my teammates had around 200 to 300 each. More of half of all those were the trooper variants, smaller enemies, but a good number were also devastators, striders, and gunship patrols. It just felt like we were getting too many waves too quickly, and there wasn't even a detector tower on most of these missions. My advice to people who often play medium difficulty is to take localization confusion with you for the time being, because I don't think this was intentional. We'll see if it gets mentioned or fixed sometime soon, but for right now the heads up is there's a lot of baddies. Be prepared. Level 7 seems to be a sweet spot right now, so you may consider upping the difficulty to have a more balanced experience. Pretty normal spawn rates, a fair number of challenging enemies, and also players that are really good at the game spend most of their time between 7 and 9, so it feels easier as well. Another quick note is that, having wrestled with bots for a solid week, it has affirmed my position that I stated in an earlier video, which you can find at the end of this, that we're in a need of changes to weapons that will make them more useful. I feel like my loadout options shrink considerably when I play against bots. Right now I'm addicted to the autocannon. Even though it didn't get a buff or nerf, it's still ridiculously powerful. It's the mitochondria. It's my all-in-one automaton problem solver. Please don't nerf it, Arrowhead. Just make the other weapons more viable. Which brings me to another quick note. I've been trying to get used to the heavy machine gun, but its optic is dog water. May we please get an iron sight option added so that I can actually see what I'm shooting? I feel like that would be great. great. Not every weapon needs an optic. Iron sights are the unsung heroes of ADS. Moving on, the most important part, which harkens back to my previous discussion video, war progress. What is it? What are we doing? No one knows. It used to be about unlocking new items like the exosuit. Remember anti-tank mines? I don't think Arrowhead does. It might not have felt like a huge loss, but we're still missing that sense of purpose. We're in a lull on the narrative where we're just kind of biding time, not really doing anything important. This is exactly what I was talking about before in regards to the progression tracker. It also highlights the need for different rewards. I haven't had anything to spend medals on in over a month. My previous idea had to do with customization and accessory, weapon skins, armor variants, upgrades, more dailies, things to fill the void in between so you have something to do at any time. Raise the cap on medals and allow us to use medals to purchase something else like rare samples. Give us a sink so that they're not going to waste. MO rewards could also be improved. I think EXP along with a few super credits added to that would be a good start. That would give us more incentive. Being able to use an extra stratagem during missions was also a great idea. I was absolutely crushing it in the Emancipator exosuit. I feel like the exosuits would be an excellent pick to have available more often because I hardly ever see anyone bring them, but they are far from useless. How about you? Which extra stratagem would you like to see in the rotation? Back on topic, having a visual aid to track overall progress would make a great addition. I'm seeing many comments in here that talk about how the back and forth between sectors feels really meaningless. Perhaps designated worlds is not the way to go. Maybe having a whole sector or two full of planets that we can pick from would be better, and just have progress based on something like overall attrition rather than defense or offense. Those could be bonuses instead. Maybe you get more EXP from playing on a world that's in need of defense, or you could find more samples on worlds that are targeted for immediate liberation. But overall, any world will count towards the strengthening of our position on the war front. You let me know if that sounds like a good change to you, and what more would you like to see about the game's evolving narrative? Or you can just put a vomit emoji, both are completely valid. That about covers up what I've been seeing throughout the recent weeks. Aside from the usual gripe, I have noticed more in-game stability. I haven't been getting loading errors or disconnecting for a while, but the social tab is still not working right. We'll see how the next month goes, and here's hoping that there will be an official post with some news about future developments soon. Until then, dive hard and carry on. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a like as well. Also, for more gameplay and discussion, please consider the videos below. Thanks and see you soon.